Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
It's the thing we do.
Sure it is. So this particular movie was called Malcolm and Marie. Release date February 5th, 2021 on the Netflix.
The Netflix channel, yeah.
Yeah. So this is I've been excited for this one. John David Washington, Zendaya in black and white.
And that's it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's all you need.
There's no other actors. There's no other puppies.
No other puppies?
Well, no puppies at all.
No puppies at all.
To be honest.
Yeah, so it's just the two of them at night having a fight, more or less.
Yeah.
Having some heated discussion.
Yep.
It is the night after his big premiere. His first big movie has just premiered. It's based largely on her life as a recovering addict, a young recovering addict. Seems to have been well received, but they are tensely awaiting the actual reviews to come out.
Yeah, because they'll play nice to your face, won't they?
That's right. Yeah, I guess some tensions get released in this room.
They do.
Woo! Woo! Now, on a scale of 10, Sean, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Maybe just the scale of 10 will be enough, but
yeah.
I know how you are. You hate conflict.
I hate it.
How uncomfortable does it make you watching this movie?
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too real. Like, it feels like you're in the fight.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you are not good at fighting.
No.
You worry about even me seeing other people fighting, like that might remind me that I'm allowed to fight with you, so I might just pick one just because it looks so fun.
Yeah. Just to put me to the test.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate fighting. And that's what this movie is.
Mm-hmm. And yes, it is very real feeling. They definitely put you in those shoes. I mean, we're the awkward people in the room while this is happening. And you can't help but take on those feelings some of the time yourself. So this is by writer-director Sam Levinson. Shot in black and white. It has got some awesome cinematography, I have to say.
It does, yeah.
This movie is all shot like in the house, so it has quite a claustrophobic feel to it at times because things are so heated, and often they want to get away from each other. So it feels close, but somehow this beautiful cinematography still comes out, and I thought that was a very pleasant surprise.
It was, yeah. They did a good job with it of keeping it fresh. They have obviously spent a lot of time being creative with where are they going to put the camera and what is it going to do during this shot.
Mm-hmm. Excellent performances.
Absolutely.
I have to say.
Well, they better be because that's the movie.
All there is. Yeah. It's not. It's not about story, of course. There's no plot. There's nothing. We get to know them obviously quite well. We know their past through, the accusations they hurl at each other. The old fights that come up during the new fight.
Yeah. Whoops.
But you do get to know someone rather intimately overhearing their fight like this.
Yeah.
And neither of these two is shy. Neither of them hates conflict like you do.
No, they're going in. They're leaning in.
Yes, they are. They really are. They're fighting like it's a sport they both enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's explicit at one point. You want to fight? I will destroy you.
Yeah. Yes, I did think if I was watching this from a psychology point of view, would I feel like these two would make it as a couple? Because it is a little bit
it's personal, addictive.
Yeah. It's all the fun things.
Yeah.
Woo! They're exercising all of the ghosts on this night. It's a doozy. That one fight you always remember as either the ender of all things or the worst fight we ever had. They're having it tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm. Whew. But yes, fantastic performances. Let's get back to that, because I feel like that's all you can really say about this movie, so let's say it all. Zendaya, of course, I have believed her to be very talented this entire time. I'm not surprised that she can do this, but it really, I mean, there's only 2 people. It is very equally distributed.
Yep.
So if anyone is the weak link, you'd know it real quick.
Yep.
And there's no weak link. These 2 played off of each other extremely well. And I can only imagine that this must have been a tense experience to film, because they are hurling abuse at each other, and they each have like pages and pages and pages of dialogue in one go.
Yep.
And during a fight, you remember your history and all the things that are wrong with your partner, and so it just comes naturally. But this is fictional for them. So for them to remember all the fictional wrongs of their partner is pretty impressive.
It is. That's true. That's a good point. They really took it to heart.
Well, they did. I just thought, to keep that level of passion and engagement going when you're also reciting so much. And I think it's important to get a lot of that right. Okay, some of it's just reactionary, some of it's name calling. You could maybe improvise some of that, but this is how we get to know them. So some of this stuff is actually very important.
It is, that's true. So you're right. They would have had to stick to a lot of their lines, because otherwise the movie wouldn't really work.
Right. And some of the next fight that's based on this fight, exactly. You need it all to fall like dominoes, right? Because they do. As they go along, they're finding new things to be mad about. It's a bad one. It's a really bad one.
Yeah.
John David Washington, he is so good. This movie really shows even more of his range. Because, and him more than her, and this is terrible, so I'm not sure we like either of their characters necessarily. He does that thing, and men should never ever do this. Don't call her crazy. Call her a bitch if you need to. Call her every name in the book if you need to. But let's stop calling women crazy when we disagree with them. How about that?
It's a good rule.
He goes there, of course. That's his go-to. But he does go from calling her that to loving her and wanting to have sex, and he is, I think, doing the 180 more than she is.
That's true, yeah.
So who's really the one acting the more crazy? I'll let you be the judge. But I think we see him go full spectrum a few times back and forth during the movie. Yep. I think she sticks more towards the middle most of the time.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I mean, it's still a pretty emotional middle. I'm not giving her a pass here.
No, but she is more consistent. Yeah. She absolutely is.
So he's all over the place. She's angry. And he...
For good reason.
Okay. You want to tell the first reason, the first given reason here?
Yeah, he forgot to thank her in his speech at the premiere. That's a pretty big oversight.
It is, and yet I can totally see you making it.
That's why we agreed you're going to write my speech.
Yes, but we also know you won't give it.
I'll give it.
Oh,
I promise,
Sean,
I will read it.
I have heard you give one speech in your life.
On our wedding.
And we all know what happened. You had a little written speech. Yeah, I know you did. I saw the paper.
Way off, yeah.
He went way off script, guys. Grabbed my butt in front of his grandmother's.
Yeah.
This guy.
Oh, it was something.
Yeah. So
and it's on tape.
It is on tape. It's exciting. Anyway, so I'm not confident that you would remember to thank me in your speech.
I would remember to thank you, especially after seeing this movie.
Okay, that might be more incentive for you to remember. I don't think I would be as mad about it, but there are other factors at play here.
Yeah, there are, absolutely.
Plus, I know you. You have a terrible memory. Plus, I know me. I have a terrible memory. I could forget the same thing. Let's be honest.
You wouldn't forget.
I know, I'm better than you are, but let's just pretend that I'm fallible. I know that hasn't really been the case in our marriage, but let's just pretend.
For that one time. Okay.
Theoretically, I could be wrong.
All right.
I love you.
I love you.
Mm-hmm. You better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's where it starts. It's not where it ends up.
Oh no, it goes way, way past that.
There's a lot of deep-rooted problems.
Yeah.
Whew. So we're going to talk about their sexual history, like every sort of scab
Yeah.
that you can possibly pick
Pick
at.
off. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They pick off, glue back on, pick off again.
Yes, yes. Somebody needs to tell them, like, you will get an infection. Like, you can only do that so many times. You gotta let that shit scar, guys. That's what being in an adult relationship means, right, Sean?
That's what they tell me.
Oh my gosh. We're laughing way too much for a movie that actually was very heavy.
It is heavy. Yeah,
It is hard to watch two people, like, that you do feel love each other.
Yeah, you do. It wouldn't work if you didn't. Because
No.
then you just be like, just break up.
Yes. Why are you still doing this? This could have been a 5-minute movie and be like, wow, we should not be together. So you do feel like this is, I thought, a pretty well-written movie just because you do feel all those things. Definitely John David Washington's character goes Malcolm. Malcolm and Marie, in case you failed to pick up on that. Malcolm goes on some tangents.
Oh, very.
Because remember, he also, his context is he's waiting to hear these reviews come in. And a lot of their fight is based around this movie that he's just made.
Yep.
And her being the inspiration for it, but sort of being neglected or left out of the creative process after having not been credited with inspiring the whole thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah. So they're waiting for these reviews, and he obviously, like so many artists, has a love-hate relationship with critics. His work depends on them. That's the weird thing. You need them. This is who spreads the word on your work. And yet, almost anything this critic can or will say, he pre-hates.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's any
There was
review.
not anything.
Could he write the review?
Yeah.
Like, I write your speech. Could he write the review and submit it and then not hate it? I don't know. Like,
Probably not even, yeah.
Yeah. But I get it. It's his baby. Yeah. And so, even if the review is totally positive, he hates it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the crazy thing. And he has some mega tangents.
Yeah.
Again, I can't even believe that anyone could memorize that kind of dialogue and then say it in a way that we believe it's his real thoughts in the moment. I can't imagine that those were pleasant scenes to film.
No. They're tough.
But he does very well. Sam Levinson, obviously, Malcolm is his mouthpiece. So he's clearly the guy who's got the problems with the critics, among other things, let's just say. His one love, though, we do discover, is for Kraft dinner. And I'm going to just say Kraft dinner. Because they call it mac and cheese in the movie repeatedly. And as a Canadian, that hurts my feelings. Not even my feelings. Yes, my feelings. But also, like, I have rage about that. You know.
It's not mac and cheese. Kraft dinner is its own thing.
It is. It comes from a box and a powder. Don't call it mac and cheese like it's food.
Yeah.
You know, I know it is a Canadian thing to call it Kraft dinner, but don't call it mac and cheese.
No. Start calling it Kraft dinner. Or KD for short.
Oh boy. Oh no. What about your KD?
My KD,
Yeah.
my Kevin Durant. Well, they can both be wonderful.
Okay. I just thought it might get confusing.
No, I mean, you can pretty much tell by the context whether I'm talking about basketball or Kraft dinner.
I don't know. You love them both quite a lot, Sean. Yeah. So, to go from Kraft dinner, I mean, we really do, it's a whole night.
Yeah.
It's a whole night. I will tell you, I don't know if you'll have guessed this, Sean. I have one big beef with the movie. No way in hell she would have stayed in that dress as long as she did.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Way to come off immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got one thing right. You get home and she pees. Yes, obviously needs to be done. She's probably been holding it all night. She's wearing an evening gown.
Yes.
And pantyhose, and she doesn't take them off. She cooks Kraft dinner wearing this dress. No, there's no way she's not in an oversized t-shirt and yoga pants the minute she's through that door. Clearly, a man has written this.
Yep.
Ah, the male gaze. Anyways, did you enjoy the movie? Can this movie be enjoyed?
I don't know that this movie can be enjoyed because it's a little too real, but it's good.
It's still worth watching.
It's still worth watching.
Who's gonna want to watch this movie? I
know, but it's one of those ones where you're gonna say, I have to see it because there are two big performances in this movie that's on Netflix and people are gonna be talking about.
I mean, I even this year, I probably would give an Oscar nomination to both of them. I did feel that strongly about their performances.
They're very good.
Whether or not, okay, the characters are maybe not the greatest people. Certainly and I mean, you're always going to feel that way when you've seen them at their worst, right? That's not how they always are. Obviously, they must have lovey-dovey moments too. They are at their worst.
Yeah.
So we hear the worst things about them. It's not great. And they both take some pretty low blows.
Yeah, they do.
Right? They're both guilty of this. Of course, not in our relationship. But in theirs, woof. So it's sometimes hard to like them. It's definitely hard to watch them fight.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I mentioned she is a recovering addict. I think I did.
You did, yes.
So that comes up and gets thrown in her face. There's a very spotty history for a very young woman, a young couple.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot. There's lots of ammunition, let's say.
Yeah. And they all use it all.
Yes, that's right. So it is a heavy watch. It does feel like a burden at times, just because they are so good. It's impactful, right? It feels like a weight on your chest. I did not feel like the way I feel when we were fighting, but I definitely felt uncomfortable, which obviously is the point.
Yep.
So it's not a super fun watch, but I do think the performances are so good that whether or not you think a movie that's just a fight is really something that needed to be made or put out in the world, or something that you really want to spend your Friday night watching, I get it. But yeah, I did think it was kind of astonishing how good these two are. But really, it's just the two of them, so they better be good.
Yeah.
So it's good that they live up to it.
Well, yeah, otherwise they would be easy to skip this one because it is not fun.
No, but obviously they have insane chemistry. And I always say this, like, when you stop fighting, you stop caring. So obviously they care a lot about each other because their fight is very passionate. But they really do, they keep it up. They're at a threat level 10 the entire movie. Couple of false.
Yeah, there's some lulls.
Yes.
And then it comes back.
Oh, it comes
even harder.
back.
Yeah.
Oh. So, I mean, it's realistically written, I have to say. I felt bad for him at times. I felt bad for her at lots of times. Oh, man. I just wanted to put them each in their corner and be like, you guys need to just breathe. Have some more Kraft dinner, maybe. Stop. Don't eat it so angrily this time.
Yeah, he does eat it angrily. It's very good. Just smashing his fork.
Yes. And I have to say, just on taking me out of the movie for just a half a second, I love every time he does anything that reminds me of his dad. Denzel Washington is a fantastic actor, but we know him really as sort of like a soft-spoken guy, generally. And in this movie, David Washington has not a single soft-spoken word to be said. Everything is yelled, and even that good review, the theoretical good review, is like makes him irrationally angry, just crazy mad. And yet, even though he's swearing and having this fit, when he says something that reminds me of his dad, I'm just like, yes. I could have like a bingo card of all the Denzel-isms, and I just want to pick up all of them. I love it. So, would you still recommend this movie then?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I would too. I mean, I liked it, but because I think it's written really well, I think these are interesting characters, if nothing else. You don't have to like them. That's not what the point is. You don't have to take sides. It's not that kind of movie. It's not trying to convince you of one thing or the other. I think there's definitely they're both not acting. They're not on their best behavior. They don't know someone is taping them.
No one.
If they knew this was about to be released on Netflix, they might have held something back.
Just cut it off even at the start.
Oh, yeah. She knew.
Just agree to disagree.
We shouldn't talk about this right now.
Yeah, she did know that.
She knew that.
Yeah.
She was right.
Yes, she was.
But that's not how it went down, guys. So, just a little...
That would have been a very different movie.
Next time, you might want to consider just sleeping on it. You know. Next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's Malcolm and Marie. You can find it on Netflix on February 5th, 2021. Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.